Hello, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Mina Mikhail, and I'm the current president of the International Model Investment Club. Welcome to our May 2023 meeting. Below, please see the links to our social media as well as to our YouTube page, YouTube channel, pardon me, where you can find recordings of past meetings and other resources. So we'll begin with just a background of our club and a brief disclaimer, and we'll move on to a presentation of tonight's agenda. We were founded a club that's a better investing model club. We're open to the public and founded in May of 2016. Our meetings occur monthly. They're held on the third Mondays of each month, except with the exception for December when we meet on the second Monday. We use hypothetical money in this club only, so no real money, no real tax consequences, and it helps us also avoid issues with currency exchanges. So given that we're using hypothetical money, this allows the club to take on the primary purpose of acting as a learning lab. That allows us to apply better investing principles and fundamentals of stock investment to using the online stock selection guide, learning how to make an investment decision, manage an investment portfolio, and the operation of an investment club. All our meetings are held online. That allows us to serve guests and visitors from across the world. Currently, we have 12 members and an international community. We have membership in, 13, membership in the United States, Canada, as well as in China. You'll notice on the panel on the right-hand side of your screen that under the handout section, you'll find a copy of tonight's agenda. In that agenda, you'll find a copy of this presentation with the summary of our facts as well as the disclaimer. All of guests and visitors, welcome. You will be muted for the duration of the meeting. Please feel free to post questions in the questions section of that same right-hand control panel. We'll do our best to answer them in real time while still on the subject. And of course, we'll get to any questions that we didn't have a chance to address at the end of the meeting. Now, at the end of the presentation, guests and visitors will be unmuted, and we'll invite you to provide your feedback, ask any questions, engage in any dialogue with the members. And you'll notice that we have time segments in the agenda, and we are doing our best to stay faithful to that schedule and respect your time. As such, you may hear some reminders from members to presenters to allow them to remain pithy and to remain within time. Now, this is an important disclaimer. The information presented tonight is for educational purposes only and is not intended as a recommendation to buy or sell any of the securities mentioned. The views expressed today are those of the participants only and do not necessarily represent those of BetterInvesting or of the other members. Investors should conduct their own research and analysis before making any investing decisions. Securities discussed may be held by the presenters in their own personal portfolios. The presentations tonight may contain images, graphics from websites, products, services that are not specifically endorsed by BetterInvesting or by the presenters themselves. And finally, this meeting is recorded and will be posted to our YouTube channel shortly, so for reference and for later study. So we'll now move on to a quick review of our agenda. Tonight, our treasurer, Reddy, will present us our monthly treasury report. We'll then have Reddy has been kind enough to take on the education topic this evening. He will be presenting an article review for discussion. Tonight is also an evening where we have quarterly reports due. As you'll see on the list there, there's a majority of holds. However, we will prioritize a discussion over the two cells there with Jay and Isla. I understand these are holdovers, but important discussion to have. We'll then open up the conversation for our guests and presenters, and then move on to club business. So at this point, I will stop sharing my screen and I will pass on the mic to Reddy for the treasury report. And Reddy, whenever you're, we can see your screen now, so whenever you're ready to present, we appreciate it.
Reddy is having problems with his microphone.
Okay. Yeah, and I think also, Reddy, I think you're showing us a different screen than you're intending to. I think you moved the presentation somewhere, but ask if you could try to quickly restart your device and hopefully you can regain.
Reddy, you need to sign out of the GoToWebinar, sign back in and say use phone call, and then in the chat, I put the number that you can call using your phone if your computer isn't working.
Okay, well, in the meantime, Jay, can given that Reddy is kind enough to both take care of the Treasury report as well as tonight's education topic, Jay, if you're ready, I would like to pass the screen to you so that we can get into the conversation of the quarterly reports. And then when Reddy has the opportunity to log back in, we can and then deal with the Treasury report and the education topic. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Perfect. I will make you the presenter now.
I have nothing to present. This is something Algonquin I presented the last meeting. I recommended a sell. So this is something we need to discuss during the club of business portion of the meeting. The motion did not pass. It was not because people voted no, not to sell. It's because not enough people to vote.
Well, I mean, Jay, I know I appreciate that's the case, and we're definitely going to be addressing that this evening. But I'm not sure if the entire membership. I mean, I personally wasn't in attendance last month. Would you would you be able to give us maybe just a few minute summary of some of the highlights as to why you recommend a sell, so that when we put the item back up as a motion potentially tonight, then the membership can have that fresh in their minds?
Yeah, sure. I also need to freshen my own mind.
Of course. I
This
appreciate
company,
putting you on the spot.
right? No, that's fine. Yeah,
I know the two recommendations are sell. I mean, and then Reddy also has IRPR.
Yeah, this company was declining for 3 quarters, 2 or 3 quarters. And
Earnings reports. Jay.
Oh, earnings reports. Okay, thank you. I gave an annual meeting last month. It has been declining for several months, and there were many non-meaningful figures in the SSG to a point I cannot even assess for this company. That was the mainly like NMF, not enough number figure, meaning figure, and also what I was saying last time. This question number one, and also earnings versus the pricing. The pricing dropped significantly. And so I think I also mentioned something about the growth. They become all negative and a growth. This is a tough industry. I mentioned that during economy downturn, sometimes when you invest in energy, it could be a good thing, but somehow it's not the case for this company. And yeah, finally, I just felt like, okay, let's put the money to something else to can give us a better return. The only way we were making money on this company is using dividends, but the dividends, the last is at the 11%. This number is very suspicious, and being this high just for the stockholders. And this is not a sound company anymore. So I think we should put the money elsewhere. Yeah, there was just 3 quarters in a row. This company was not doing well. I felt like the trending is just trending down. So I made a recommendation to sell it.
Okay. Now, how do you feel about? I understand with Algonquin, it's one of the big attractive features of the security is that they pay a pretty generous dividend. How does that factor in Does it factor into that consideration? I know I don't know how to consider the dividend when considering, the standard SSG model.
Yeah. So when the dividends become paying you at 11%, this is not something that they can sustain. This caught my attention when I was at presenting the SSG. I did not realize it was paying 11%. That was not ideal. And it's not. I don't know what's the word. It's not really fraud. I don't know what's the word for it. It's not really fraud. If somebody can help me, maybe Isla, you can help me with this dividend. There was a red flag about how to evaluate dividends, and it's just not realistic.
Jay.
Yeah, Piero.
Okay, I heard that Algonquin, go to the first page and graph the shares outstanding. I heard that what they're doing, in order to acquire to pay for their acquisitions, they're just issuing more shares. They're diluting the shareholder value. This is how they're raising money. They're not earning money to pay for their acquisitions. They're just issuing more shares, which is kind of a no-no as far
Which
as
they did. You're looking for the trend, keep going up.
Yeah. And it's Better Investing says, when they're doing that, they're paying for the acquisitions by issuing more shares. That's how they're raising money. They're watering down shareholder value. So whatever shares you hold in it become worth less and less as more shares are issued. And that's a bad sign.
Thank you, Piero.
Well, that's great. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Jane. I think that was helpful to just get a refresher of the position as to why you're recommending the sell, and I think it's pretty, it's a good case. So, if pending any questions to that, and pending Ready, I see that you're back online, and you're self-muted.
Okay, I just.
Let's move on to Isla. Are you able to give us a similarly brief kind of review of FAF? I appreciate putting you on the spot at the last minute too.
Okay, let me try.
I have a question. When we recommend sells, are we still requesting that people fill out the sell checklist?
Yes, I have the checklist I completed last month.
Okay.
Okay, about First America Financial FAF, they are okay. Let me see. I recommended also last month that we sell this company, and here are some of the reasons why. As of last month, as of the end of fiscal 22, their net income had declined 79% from 21 to 22. Their net income further declined in quarter one, 52.9%. Free cash flow, there was a 51% decline from 21 to 22, and free cash flow went from, it's still negative. It's negative now. It's less negative than it was for the first quarter, but still negative. Let's see. Cash and cash equivalents did increase year over year. That is quarter one 23 to quarter one 22. Other interesting thing, revenues. Revenues declined 29% in quarter one. Pre-tax income, net income declined in quarter one. And their pre-tax margin is down to 4.12. Their net margin is down to 3.18. Now, their pre-tax margin in 2021 was 17.8%, and now it's down to that. Now, their ratios, as you can see, can anybody see my screen?
Yes, we can. Also, I'm not sure if I'm on the one, but I'm starting to hear a pretty significant echo.
Sorry?
Nope. Okay, never mind. It's all gone. So I can see your screen. Yes, thanks.
Okay, all right. So, you know, just as a point of reference, the green boxes are the ones that meet the guidelines, and of course, the red boxes are the ones that do not. And as you can see, the majority of the majority of them are red boxes and don't meet the guidelines. So the quarterly report is here. EPS has declined for 6 quarters. Pre-tax profit has declined for 6 quarters. Sales declined for 4 quarters. Trailing 4 quarters EPS has declined 80%. Trailing 4 quarters pre-tax profit has declined 52.6%, and trailing 4 quarters sales have declined 24%. I'm not really sure there's much else we can say about it. It was declining all of last year during the fiscal year, and it's continued to decline quarter 1 23. So my recommendation is still to sell.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate that, Isla. Thank you so much for presenting on such short notice and bringing that information to our attention so that if another motion comes up today, then members have the ideas fresh in their mind. Are there any questions for Isla at this time? Okay. Pending that, I think, I'm assuming you're still unable to connect the audio. I see that you're online. Okay. Of the other quarterly reports, I know several of them are holds. Were there any particular companies that the presenters felt, even though it's a hold, that there's some information that maybe something interesting or something important that we should discuss as a group?
I can present Freeport McMoran.
Thanks, Amy. So let me just hand off the presentation to you.
So before you do that.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
I have 2 screens. So let me just see which screen.
So I do see your quarterly report.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So so the most of the metrics, sales, pre-tax profit, and EPS has declined. However, still think that this is long-term a good company to hold, and the reason for the decline really had to do with a number of events that were outside of management's control. Just to recap or some background, Freeport is essentially a copper producer. About 70% of their the ore that they mine is copper, and then the rest there is a little bit of gold and molybdenum, but copper is the primary production. So, and they operate in the United States, in South America, and Indonesia. So in Peru, they had some political issues, civil unrest. In Indonesia, there was a very large storm that impacted their operations for several weeks. And then they had some productivity challenges in the United States. When mining companies produce ore, they then have to smelt it in a smelter where it's heated at very high temperatures, and there's several processes to separate the various metals and so on. So the smelters, if it's not a vertically integrated mining company, in other words, if they don't own the smelter, and some of the larger ones own their own smelters, then they have 2 different types of arrangements in terms of selling the ore. So they can sell it directly to the smelter, and then the smelter processes the ore and passes it on, sells it to end users, and that sale is recorded as revenue at the time of the sale. The other arrangement is called tolling, and basically what the smelter does is they process the ore and they charge a fee for doing that processing, but they're not responsible for selling the final product. That's up to Freeport. And so in Indonesia, which is about 35% of revenue, they went from concentrate sales agreement to a tolling agreement. So Freeport could not recognize that revenue. The ore was smelted, and they have the product, but it's sitting in storage until it can be sold, and then that revenue will be recognized in the future. So that was another big impact to both sales and earnings. The other thing is that copper prices have been going down, and that impacted them as well. And then they had some higher operating costs just due to energy costs and so on. So all of these things kind of impacted the results, and that's why the numbers went down. From a long-term perspective, you have the growth of electric vehicles, and that will require a lot of copper. Also, you have renewable power that's becoming much more sort of in demand and more in favor. So that again requires a lot of copper. Both of these things require the grid, which in North America is, both Canada and the United States, is very old and needs to be modernized. So again, that requires copper. And a lot of the copper mines are new mines are slow to get approved, and also takes quite a long time, like several years, 10, 12 years, just because of permits. A lot of these mines are in remote locations and so on. So all of these factors are impacting the supply. And so you have lower supply and greater demand. And so I think long term, copper prices have to go up. There's no other choice. So so I think the picture, the supply demand picture, is quite favorable going into the future. The other thing of note I have here is that the board has authorized an increase in the share repurchase program by up to $5 billion. Now, management doesn't have to actually buy back any more shares until they're able to. They're putting the money towards addressing these higher energy costs and so on, but that's $5 billion in share repurchases that will be taking place sometime in the future. There's no expiration date on that, and they can do it when it's convenient to do so. So I think overall you're going to see copper prices go up, demand go up, supply is going to be constrained. The company will be making a lot more profit, and they will be buying back shares. So I think long term, it's a hold, and I think it's just we need to be patient. In terms of my SSG, and I'm just talking until Reddy's ready, so you guys can tell me to stop anytime. But in terms of the SSG, I went and I looked at quite a number of sources here for earnings and sales, and then I averaged them out, looked at the compound annual growth rate, and I got about 8.36 for EPS earnings, and 583 for sales, and that's what the SSG was based on, those two numbers. I also took about I think 15% downside. I can show you my SSG if there's any interest. Let me bring that across. Okay, so And again, you can see down here like the debt has been going down, so that's very positive. Return on equity has been flat, but again, given some of the copper price reductions that happened recently, I think that's pretty reasonable. Still 16.9 return on equity is not bad at all. So, and then pretty solid earnings growth rate. You can see the sales is growing at a modest level, but that's because again, if you're a resource company and the price of the resource is not where you'd like it to be, there's no sense producing more and selling it at that lower price. So a lot of these companies, whether they're mining or oil and gas, they will actually hold off on producing until the price is higher, and then they'll increase production significantly. So that's why you see the sales are kind of flat. But I think going forward, there should be increased demand for copper. Anyway, so 5.8 for my sales growth rate and 7.6 for earnings per share. And then valuation, I took an average PE of about 18. If you can look here, that's the long-term sort of average. Current PA ratio right now is 19.5, and that's because of the low earnings. Target price is about 46, and then I took a low price of 28, which is about I think 15 or 20% from current. So so it's a hold on the SSG, but I think beyond the numbers, it's important to understand the story behind it and what's happening in the market and the supply demand picture. So that's it. If anyone has any questions.
Well, thanks so much, Haney. That was great. I think I see Pierre. Do you have any questions there for Haney?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask Haney how it compares to its peers.
Sorry, that's a very good question. It's actually, in terms of metrics and like production costs and so on, some of the larger peers like Rio Tinto and Vale have actually better numbers. But if you look at the stock price, historical stock price, Freeport has done much better on a price basis and a total return than most of its peers. And I don't understand why that is, to be honest. I think it's because it's U.S. based, and a lot of the competitors are Australian or outside the United States, and so they're maybe not as well known, or people are less comfortable investing outside the U.S. Although they all trade on U.S. markets, so I'm not really sure.
Okay. Do they have?
Kenny, I'm sorry. Can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Their mine in Peru, where they had the civil unrest, has that gone back online?
Yes, it's they've started a few weeks back. Yeah. I've actually like some of these things. Like I've been to Peru several times. I've been to Chile, and there's people are much more what's the word, politically sophisticated, and so that you get a lot of I don't know what the word is, but people are much more engaged in politics and what the government is doing. So you quite often you see a lot of civil unrest and protests and so on. But overall, like it's standard thing over there. It's not there isn't like a violent civil war or anything like
No,
that.
oh, okay. So it doesn't shut them down for extended periods of time.
No, usually like, could be a month, several weeks, whatever, but it's
Oh, okay.
it's not a serious sort of thing, at least in my mind.
So it's sort of on the par with like the strikes in France and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry, Piero, did you have another question?
Yeah, I was just going to ask if do they have other possessions in risky jurisdictions? Like
The three main ones are United States, South America, and Indonesia, and most of those are very high quality reserves. So that's another issue with supply demand, is that as the demand for copper goes up, people are exploring for more copper, but the concentrations of metal in the ore are getting lower and lower. So you're having to spend a lot more money to process it, to mine it and process it. But Freeport has the advantage of having access to some very rich deposits. But those are the three: South America, United States, and Indonesia are the three major regions that they're involved in.
okay. Yep, yep.
Well, thank you so much, Hanny. Pending any other questions, I think I see Reddy is online via telephone now. Reddy, are you able to connect with us?
I'm able to connect by phone.
Perfect.
And I see slides and I hear you in its presentation too. Okay. Shall I present the treasurer's report?
Yes, if you could present the treasury report. I'm not sure if you're able to connect your screen, or if you're able to see the presentation on your laptop now.
Yeah, I see your presentation on my laptop.
Okay, so I'm going to hand over the screen to you. If you could present the treasury report, that would be fantastic.
Okay. It never happened to me before, but okay. You see my report
We do.
on the
We do.
Yes.
Okay. I prepared this treasury report today. You did not have much time to review. This month I deposited 1,300 for 13 members. I'll explain in a minute. Matt Coburn, I paid off because I was not sure what the decision was. Because of that one, we have 13 members and 1,300 deposited. We did not buy any and we did not sell any last month. Matt Claiborne payment was close to 9,000, but I paid right after our meeting last month. But today with the 1,300 deposit, as of today, our deficit is only $335. We have large cash on hand last month, and most of it is used towards this payment. So we have only 335 in the red as of today. New members, none. Next is this is the heat map. Heat map fairly looks good, except Vertex is showing good results, and hence is slightly bigger than others. These are our big the winners. I listed here only gainers and losers with more than 10%. Small ones I did not include here. Schwab is making a good profit, and Vertex Pharma is doing excellent, and so is the Facebook. Freeport McMoran is also doing good, considering the short time we had. The losers are the Amazon, we all know, current market conditions, and Algonquin Power, Disney, of course, short term, and Alphabet. I will do some comments on innovative industrial properties later, but we are still sitting at minus 30%. Next is this is the all the reds and the blacks you can see from the website. We have about more than half the losers and about roughly less than half gainers. This is the picture. I think we are doing this year somewhat better with this month and the last month's improvement in the market conditions. I think we will do even better once this the deficit problem is resolved, or actually the debt ceiling. This is the portfolio review from the club side. I still have I would like to comment the same thing as I did last month. We all have to make an effort to update our SSGs to the current one, even if you did not change any estimates, but update and link it. Linking, I think by now all of you know the procedure how to link it, but just click the update and click the current price, and because I cannot change the current price, so the lot of this data is old and incorrect. That's why I request everybody to update and then upload. Next, this is the.
Sorry, Reddy. I haven't linked like in quite some time, so I don't recall how to do it. So if somebody could show me at some after the meeting or something, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, in the same link there is a SSG link icon, and they underlined, and click on it, or I can show, or Joan can show.
We if we have time today, we can quick do an overview, because I think there are quite a few people that don't remember how to link it.
Yeah.
So it's worth going over again.
Okay. This screen purely depends on what is the latest link we have. Even if you did not revise any estimate, but it picks up the current price, and according to the current price, it evaluates, and current ratios it will show, because this is a portfolio evaluation by the web, and that's purely based on current price and current situation. Next is club assets. As I said, Vertex is still the largest one, but that's okay because it's doing good. We have fairly small percentages here. Around 5% is the minimum that we need, and that's about the IIPR and Amazon are around, and Algonquin are about 5%. The company diversification is, I think we have little larger share in mega caps than large caps. Large should be more than mega, and mega should be less than large. But I listed the percentages here because of the $300 or so after paying the Matt Claiborne, we owe small negative. That's showing as cash there. Because when the cash is negative, it does not show up in the pie charts. The next one is diversification. We are kind of fairly diversified, except our 3 sectors are still missing. Consumer discretionary, energy, and industrials are missing. Otherwise, we have 8 sectors reflected here. The last slide is diversification. We are fairly diversified, we should say, and our portfolio is good, except we should consider some missing sectors. Okay. Any questions?
You're ready. Thank you for your report. On slide 7.
Yes.
Yeah, I updated mine yesterday. So when did you update this? When did you create this thing?
As we speak today.
Okay, well I don't know what's going on then, because I can show you right now. I can share my screen. I can show you that says 514, updated. So I don't know what's going on then.
You may have updated on your computer, but you have to link it to the website.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I linked it. on 514. So,
okay. Oh, 514. Okay, we can look at the screen. We can look at the screen.
Is it possible that it won't? Is it possible that it won't turn over until today because 514 was a Sunday?
No, it picks up the last day's price. That means today it will pick up the Friday prices only.
Right, but I'm just saying, is it possible that it isn't showing up because the linkage itself occurred on a Sunday?
No. It will link. It will show the date.
I'll just wait for the Joanne or whoever else to show how to link it, because some of these other ones don't look to be synced up with your list as well, like Algonquin and others. If I'm looking at the right page on my club, some of the other ones don't look to be synced up as well. So I don't know what's going on. But also early on, I don't know what slide it is, but then we're supposed to we're not negative. We're in our club agreement. We go to 0. We basically each member contributes enough for us to get to 0 right now. Okay, and that's probably not clear, but that's the way it works. I just learned that from Joanne looking that up last month.
Okay.
We can talk about that later, I guess. But it doesn't really. This is not real money. It doesn't matter that much anyway. So. Thanks.
I'm trying to load the screen that shows this review screen.
Ready? A curiosity question. The charts that you give, are they part of an SSG plus? How do you generate those charts? I'm curious in the sense of when we have our own portfolios, it would be nice to see what percentage of stocks our personal portfolio has on large cap, mega, and the like, and the industry layout. So the question is, how do you is that part
generated from iClub?
It's a good question. Just before the meeting, I update all the create the valuation, new valuation. New valuation was created as of today. So for the other screens, then what are you able to see my portfolio review report screen?
Yes.
Okay. Other than this one, all others values are shown as of today, Friday's price. I create the new valuation. Otherwise, it will pick up old valuation.
Reddy, I think he is asking about the different diversification charts and so on.
Yeah.
Those are if you go to iClub and you fill in your portfolio, there's a whole bunch of standard reports. Then click on the button and the report shows up. So there.
Oh, okay.
But you have to go to iClub and create a portfolio.
I see. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, can you answer his question by which link he's looking for? You are seeing my screen, right?
Yeah. So he has to create a personal iClub account. You can't. Well, you could. I guess you could do it on the club one, but then if it's real money that you're using in from your personal account, then it might be visible to everybody else. So you have to go to iClub and create a personal account, and then portfolio.
Which I can have, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, that answered the question. Thank you.
We can then you raised my curiosity. We can create our own personal portfolios on this website, my iClub.
Yes, but everybody else should be able to see them then.
Oh, okay. I do not know where that option is, but yeah. It's a public information, but you can create your own portfolio.
Jay, is that true that you can make see, my understanding is that our clubs, since we're a model club, we have the My iClub license as a club management tool. Hanny, I wasn't aware that we could have a free personal account.
Like if you go to, if you want me to show you, I can. If you give me the screen, I can show you. But if you go to My iClub at the very top, it says Your Clubs, and it says IMIC or IMIC, and then just 1 second here. I'll show my screen.
Oh, create a club. Okay, you can create your own club.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'll right here. Can you see the My iClub screen?
Yes.
Okay. See up here. Create a club.
Oh.
So you can create as many clubs as you want, but anyone will be able to go up here and pick any of these, whatever you create. So it's not private. It's all of the members in our club will be able to see these, right? But you can have multiple clubs, and each club could be an individual's portfolio.
Okay.
So for example, if we had a watch list and we wanted to just, hypothetically pretend that we bought the stocks on the watch list, we could create a new club and call it watch list or something. And then you could track how that watch list is doing over time.
Isn't that what you're on right now, the watch list?
I am, but I'm just saying, these 4 things, for example, right? We could create a club here called watch list.
But how is that different from what this is showing us?
No. So you can then go to accounting and see, when you select the watch list club, it'll show just the stocks that you put in. So if we say we wanted to track these 4 watch list things, we just create a new club here. I don't want to do it because you have to go through this thing, but you then put all your buys and so on, and you can get reports for that.
Henny, I have a question. I thought these clubs shown here have to be permitted by the official clubs under BI and assign permission, right? How do you do that if you have your own club?
You can have multiple clubs under this account.
But multiple clubs have to be officially registered with BI, or no, you can create your own.
You can if under this one you can create new clubs. I'm pretty sure. I did that in the past when I was treasurer. I was playing around with it. I created 2 or 3 clubs.
Hanny, while you're on that screen under reports, I think it's my assigned stocks is where you link your SSG to the. Yeah, I think it's.
Yeah. Right here. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then and then you generate. You do a click on the generate stock watcher. I think.
That one just does the. It does like a template. So
yeah.
it does a template thing, which has some limited usefulness. But you were asking about the different reports that Reddy was showing. They're all, you can just pick any of these here, depending on which one you want.
Oh, Haney,
Yes, sir.
you go to the top. Just go to the top. I'll show you a quick little thing. You see over here at the top, it says My Account on the right.
Yes.
Now click on that. Okay, now establish BI link on the left side. The last, yep. So that tells you how to do it. There should also be a video link that has a list. Where there's at the top, there's a video.
Well, I think that was where
videos.
Joel was saying, like, if you go here, and that once you have your link, which I have, I have a link, but then I guess you pick the study that you want. I think my latest is this one, and then you click submit, and I think that updates the portfolio.
Yeah. Hey, Haney, at the top right, see videos? Click on videos. Yeah. And there should be a list. Go down. There should be a list that says about 3/4 of the way down. It should say link SSG to iClub, and it tells you how to do it.
Yeah.
In your previous screen, there's a link already showing. Can you go back to your previous screen?
Sorry, I just
Can you go back to your previous screen you were just in?
Is this it? I think. No, it's not it.
It's just my iClub.
Yeah, right here.
Go to videos. Yeah. 3/4 of the way down.
Yeah, I just clicked on it.
Yeah.
Right here. This one, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Then there's a PDF printout at the end, PDF handout.
Okay. And then I have a tip, and I think Hanny has already kind of shown it. You don't have to upload it every time. If you give it the same name, I know some people have an issue. They want to create a new SSG every time, but you don't have to do that. I don't know who goes back and looks at their old SSGs. I don't really do that. I mean, I save the ITK and the PDF on the earnings report, so they're already there. But if you give your file name FCX, mine is called like my Schwab my iClub, so I just update that every time, and I don't have to come in here because it automatically will update when you update it on your SSG Plus.
Always under the same name.
Yes, always under the same name. So don't, like Hanny, click on that drop down. We probably have different versions there. So see how he has different versions?
Yeah.
You don't need to do that. You just need to give it one name, And then every time you update that one file, it'll automatically update your,
That's a good point, because if you just print the PDF, then that you have a record, because you need to go back sometimes and look at what your judgments were. So just doing it in a PDF makes a lot of sense.
yeah. And we save it, and usually you save it to your earnings report folder. So your ITK and
Right.
your people. So yeah. Did we want to move on to club business?
Well, I mean, yeah, does Reddy want to, I know Reddy prepared an article review.
Sorry.
I'm not sure if Reddy, if you have a few moments to go over that article review now, or?
Did you want to do an education piece, Reddy?
I want to do what?
Education.
You were scheduled to do a
An
magazine.
article review for a Better Investing article review. You got a 10 minutes. Just
No.
look at
No, I was supposed to see that on the agenda, but if you assign me, I'll try to prepare the topic for next month. Or I do not know what you have decided to invite to get Gerlach or not.
Well, that's club business, Reddy. But
yeah.
Did you have something prepared for this month?
No, I don't. I did not prepare for today.
Okay. Let's
When we are there, I have one comment on the other one. The question that we have been talking in under the portfolio review in my iClub, how to do I import my SSG's link there on the top.
I didn't understand, Reddy.
Yeah, I'm not.
What did you say?
Okay. If we go to the My iClub, the under portfolio review screen, there is a link, there is explanation, and under each one there is a how to link SSG link also.
Okay. Yeah, I think we got that covered. We've got it covered.
Okay.
Okay. Do we want to move on?
Okay. Yeah. Do we want to now open up to our guests and our visitors at this point, or do we want to actually? Yes. Let's open up for our guests and our visitors to provide their comments or feedback. Deborah Valentine, thank you so much for joining us. Are you you're self-muted? Please welcome. Love to hear your comments, your feedback.
Yes, I'm just, curious how you guys run your meetings, and I'm in a club here in California that's kind of coming to the end of its life, I think. So I just wanted to see how you guys are running your club with people all over the place.
Yeah, it does require a lot of offline work, just in sense of asynchronous work, like in terms of emails and working with time zones. But we find that cooperation seems to be pretty high amongst the members, and we're able to collaborate. So generally, our stock studies will have 2 to 3 members working together to present alternatives. So I'd invite you to join us on a month where we're presenting on on a new company and some competitors, so that you can see how we do the investigation of new companies, and how we apply the SSG to those, and have that debate. But appreciate you joining us, and please feel free to join any other time that you're able to.
Yeah, I would like to. I've been meaning to for months and just haven't gotten around to it. But do you guys set do you have like a minimum return that you like to set overall for the stocks that you look at?
So we have an overall portfolio goal of 15% annual growth, and then so we use that as a benchmark for the overall portfolio. And so obviously we have some higher performers, some companies that are lagging, but that's generally the target we'll aim for. The beauty of having the kind of fake currency is that it allows us to take a few more risks or more in terms of learning opportunities, so tracking some companies in different industries that we're not too familiar with. But generally 15% is what we're looking at.
Well, 15 is actually, it's 5 over the S&P. So
Right.
if the S&P is returning 10, then we aim for 15. If it's
Right,
returning,
so
5, then we aim for 10.
you're totally right. Thanks, Andy, for the correction. Just I've always in my mind just kind of pegged it at 15, but totally correct. Thank you for that.
It's the same target as BetterInvesting, 5% better than 5 points better than the market. Whether the current market, let's say, is 8% return, then we try to beat that by 5, so it'll be 13. Or so we that's the 15 is the ideal, but sometimes same as a BI principle, beat by 5, beat market by 5.
So what market are you using? What index are
The
you
benchmark?
judging against? Yeah, your benchmark.
So Reddy, can you talk about the benchmark? Because I thought you showed in your treasurer's report, or maybe Henny, top of the head. It was in the
So
BI.
it depends on like the size of company. So if it's a large company, we use the S&P. If it's a small company, we use the Russell.
Okay.
But to be honest, I don't think we've been sort of being really diligent in looking at that.
So Christina,
Aspirational goal.
Yeah.
are you looking for a club?
Pardon?
Are you looking for a club?
Well, I'm in the club right now, but I don't know how much longer it's going to last.
Okay. Because we would.
Is that because of you think the members are going to pass, or
Well,
because
we're just 4 people.
oh, okay.
And one person her health is not good. And it's turned into more of sort of a social thing than a serious investment club.
Where are you exactly located, Deborah?
I'm in Marin County in California.
Oh, okay. We're in. I'm a few of us in Sacramento.
Yeah.
Wayne.
Davis, Sacramento. There's probably 5 of us on your time zone. I mean, maybe Joel too.
Oh yeah, we're
Yeah.
in Oregon. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know Sacramento. I used to live in Sacramento, and they have a strong Better Investing community up there. And I did go. That's where I first joined Better Investing. To some of the
I
meetings.
see.
Yeah.
I see. How long have you been with the Better Investing?
About 20 years.
Wow, you are a very experienced member. We would love to have you, Deborah. But again, we invest in, fake money because the goal is really for us to really spend time, focus on research,
Right.
looking for the stocks, not worry about treasure, this is that.
Right.
And before you join us, you have opportunity to participate in a stock study, so you can see how we do it behind the scene. Like, we are not meeting in person, but how do we do stock studies together? So that way, we also ask you maybe be part of it, research, work with us, maybe do a presentation as well, the stock study, work with us. Sounds like you are experienced, you should feel you feel very comfortable doing so. And after that, then you can decide, I really feel like this is, I feel comfortable, this is the way I would like to do it, or no, this is just too much online, I would prefer in person. You can make a decision then. So the expectation, the decisions are bi-directional. You observe us, attend our meetings, observe us, participate stock studies. obviously for our club, because we don't invest in real money, but still the work is the same. We're asking our members to be very dedicated, doing research, give quarterly reports, annual reports.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a commitment that you usually have a stock that you follow. So you're responsible for quarterly reports and annual report. And then since we're a learning club, we also ask our members to do at least one educational. And it can be like a review of a Better Investing article. It can be more things about researching the value line or other types of reports or the 10K. So things that you can share with the group. So yeah, so it's a lot. We really encourage people to participate because that's when you learn. If you're just going to sit around and just come and attend just to listen, I don't think you're going to get the benefit. Whereas when you actually participate, I think that's when you really learn. And plus you're sharing and you're teaching others. So.
Right. Our model is learning by doing and share the knowledge. The education topic, another part of it is, BI has so many webinars. You may have something that you just watched that you really liked. You can share with a club. Basically, really, we want to knowledge sharing and learning by doing. Just we take what we learned at the club and then go back home. At home, we just basically manage our own portfolio.
Mm-hmm. I heard you talking about your own portfolios. I just recently bought a software called, I had heard about it in some of the BI webinars. It's called, what is it called? Investment. What's the name of it? Oh, Investment Account Manager. Does anybody use that?
No.
Anybody? Any Piero? Do you guys use any of it? Yeah, there are so many tools, software.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I like a free products personally. Yeah, I don't like spend money on things. They make things fancy. We can do it. We can pull using Google Sheets and Excels. We can do it. Is it expensive?
I think it was $100. Something around there, I don't remember. But you can download all your information from your, Schwab or Fidelity. It makes really good reports for like your taxes and that sort of thing. So that's kind of why I wanted to figure out how to use it.
I see.
We can't use that in Canada because it wouldn't probably, we wouldn't be able to download anything on it from our broker accounts. It's not compatible. There's a number of online softwares as well that you could use.
I got a tangent question for the club. ETFs. I know it's Better Investment is specifically targeting individual stocks, but you hear Warren Buffett saying, okay, an ETF, pick some good solid ETFs and it'll beat the market almost all the time. So does the club look into ETFs at all?
I think Henny gave presentation maybe a couple years ago, right, Henny?
Possibly, I don't remember.
Yeah, we have education topic folder. We can take a look. I believe Henny gave. We do individual stocks, but this can be an education topic. We talk about technical, we talk about ETF, we talk about GPT, chat GPT. Henny gave a presentation, and John has talked about the coin, what do you call that?
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin,
Yeah. What's that called?
NFT.
Cryptocurrency.
Cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Well, the online chapter just did a forum on ETFs. If you, I hope everybody belongs to the online chapter. You just go to betterinvesting.com/online, and then you can sign up to get their newsletter, and it'll tell you when they have their forums, their educational forums. They just did one on ETFs, and if you go to their articles and news, they'll have the recording posted.
Oh, what's the link again? What's the path?
betterinvesting.com/online. So we belong to the online chapter. The
Yes.
International Model Investment Club is a part of the online chapter. So they have a lot of educational links, and they post events.
Oh, okay. I thought the online club was IMIC.
No, well, we're our own individual, but there's we're a club, but there are multiple clubs under the online chapter.
Oh, and so what's that? This particular one that you're referring to is called what?
Online chapter.
Oh,
So it's
online.
investing.com/online.
Yes, and we are a part of it, but the one that gave the ETFs was.
That was it. That chapter.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, can I say something about that online chapter? They have a portfolio contest every year, and I think it's coming up when August or July, Jay, where we select stocks and they follow it for a year, and it's a contest between clubs on whose club does the best over that period. You don't have to put any money in, but there is a cash prize for the winner. So
We should do it.
We can offset those Canadian transfer fees.
There you go. Also for club dues, you know.
What Canadian transfer fees? It's the other way around.
No, when you pay for your, I don't know, membership or something, Hanny,
Yes.
they tack on something for the Canadians. I don't know what that's.
Currency exchange and also currency exchange.
No. We have to pay in US dollars.
Yeah.
At least I do.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
I think, Joanne, you're talking about the PayPal fees.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the currency exchange.
Okay. So maybe
I think we need to go back to 2008 financial crisis, because in 2008 the Canadian dollar was about on par with the US dollar. So right now when we go to Buffalo to do our shopping, it's 36% higher. So
well, you don't want to do that.
no. You need to have a recession in the United States so we can go shopping in Buffalo.
Okay. Really want to, Annie.
Well, I see we still have a few guests there that we just let's make sure we get to. I see Christine. Are you still online with us? Or cool? Are you online with us?
Oh,
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Oh.
Yes, hello.
Hi, this is Bakul. I just joined in.
Hi.
Oh, cool.
Hi,
Oh
hi, Jay.
my gosh.
I just got back
you?
from mom's nursing home, so I thought, hey, if I can catch going to a meeting, I thought I'll give it a try. How are you guys doing?
Oh, cool. I want to invite you to be our guest to give education topic.
You know what? I saw the minutes from last time, and I did notice my name, and then it says Jay to invite. So I said, man, I better get on this thing to see what it's all about.
Oh my gosh, everybody. Bagu is the one with the 54321. He's the mentor on that. Also, he gave the webinar for other chapters regarding the financial ratios. Oh wow,
Right.
Bagu, what a surprise.
Yeah, so Bink is coming up, and they had asked me, they invited me to do financial ratios again because I did it for Portland, and then they,
That's right.
usually the way Bink works, the way I knew was from the past is that I used to propose 3 or 4 topics, and they would select something, right? But this time around, they just invited me with a specific topic of financial ratios. So I'm going to be presenting on June 10th.
Oh, okay. So our club can talk about it. We definitely can ask you to guide us in some areas.
Yes.
Where we all learning, continue learning, and
I've never
wow.
stopped learning, so it keeps going on. There's no end to this.
Yes.
Bakul, what would you like to talk about?
Well, it depends what your club's needs are. When I dropped in and I just started, I was hearing, I guess I was getting the tail end of clubs having competitions of stocks for a year, they check back or something like that. Did I get that right?
That's our chapter is having a competition, between all the clubs, or I guess you can participate as an individual too. But I do have a question about the 10 ratios.
Yes.
I tried applying that to a financial, and I think Isla too, with her FAF, with my Schwab. I had a hard time applying the ratios. Is there a different calculation I should be using with the ratios?
Yeah, so the ratios were intended for non-financial companies, right? So if you're thinking of any company in the industry that behaves like in the financial services industry, then you have to come up with a different set. And the reason is, like if you think of banks or insurance companies, they have loan assets on the balance sheet, and the ratios to use for those types of companies is quite different from what I provided.
Okay.
Yeah. So for example, like one of my ratios, return on assets, I prefer to be 8 or above, but in banking, for example, you'll never get any return on assets of 8 or above. It's usually under 1. It kind of hovers between 0.75 to 1.25, stuff like that. And so that criteria for banks and stuff is quite different.
Okay. Is it worth creating something like you did to do financial evaluation?
It is if your club needs an exposure to financial services, or insurance types of companies. Yeah. I think what you really need is like someone who has exposure to that industry, or if you like a accountant, CPA, or you have formal training, then you might come up with a set and then propose it to the club, and I can assist by looking at it. But I don't. The reason why I don't go into financial services is the fact that that's not my core competency, right? And so the whole idea for me is to stay within things I understand. And obviously there's lots of missed opportunities. Like if I didn't do anything in banking in the last like 10 years, but it doesn't bother me. There's lots of other opportunities. There's so many things that you can expose yourself to in the area of whatever you understand, right?
Yeah, right. Okay.
So the question is, if you're going to give me a 15-minute, it looks like in June, right, Jay? So if that's the case, does your club have a specific need of any topics or areas where you have an interest in?
Yes, we have so many areas. So what do you think, you guys? Henny, Mina, Piero, what do you guys think?
If I have some time to think about it, I can come up with a few suggestions.
Yeah.
I know.
We can think. Yeah, go ahead, Joanne.
I think for sure our club has, we're hesitant to sell I think that's been one of our, I mean, lately we've been trying to sell, but it's just the dynamics of
And
our,
why is that? Why is that? Before you answer, before I ask the question, selling is the hardest thing, by the way.
okay.
And the reason is there's all kinds of reasons. You know, it seems like when you sell, people or you yourself might say, "Oh man, I'm quitting from this position," or you might have an emotional attachment to a portfolio holding, and you don't want to let go. Or you might say, like from a behavioral standpoint, you might say, "I want to get back to my break even." But that's those are not those are not good reasons actually. So you really, when you go into a position, when you start a position, or if you have an existing position, you have to, not only do you have to have a thesis why you got into it, but you also need a criteria for exit,
Exit
right?
point.
So you might say, like, okay, if I want my company's ROE to be 15% plus, and maybe free cash flow margin be 10%, or whatever whatever your club considers the criteria, and then suppose it violates in a quarter, then you might say, well, it's too early to pull the trigger, maybe wait for another quarter. And if something doesn't happen, like it doesn't start trending within the second quarter and violates whatever your criteria, then it's an immediate exit. But I need to warn you about something. If you exit, you're going to have a cash position. So you might have something in the watch list that is compelling to replace. So what I'm saying is, you better have a replacement ready. If you don't have a replacement ready, then you don't exit. You earmark it for cash until such time you find a replacement. Or you might say, you know what, something in my portfolio has come to a reasonable price that I already have. So if I exit, I'm going to accumulate that, right? And so you might say, I have less exposure in healthcare or something, and maybe one of the positions became reasonable. So you exit the position, and then you take the cash and accumulate something that you already have. So that's the modus operandi you should be really using.
Yeah, I think that we probably need to put a bit more effort into developing our watch list and set some target entry points.
Yes.
Based on what you're saying, so that if we exit a position, because we did have those conversations where people say, well, okay, we're going to sell this, but what do we buy instead?
Okay. Yeah.
And so I think if we have put a bit more effort into the watch list.
Well, you got to treat your watch list as though you hold it in a portfolio, because you still got to do your SSGs and all that stuff, because then when you exit something that you already have in your watch list, you have confidence to get into something that you've studied. It's as though like you're holding it, right? So I basically have 3 portfolios, believe it or not. One is a real portfolio. The other one is the watch list portfolio that I watch. And the third is called an NT portfolio. Well, what the heck is that? NT portfolio. So NT portfolio is like, if I sell something and I never get back to it, it winds up in an NT portfolio. So I continue tracking it as though I own it. And so that way I can say, did I make a mistake selling it? And if I do, well, I'm tracking it in an NT portfolio, right? Because I'm going to replace it or take that cash and do something else with it. So now I can monitor the NT portfolio to see, was my decision correct over time. And sometimes you make a mistake of selling too early, right? So for example, if you were looking at Microsoft, when we had the previous CEO, Steve Ballmer, that guy was a marketing guy. He's not a capital allocator. So what happens is, for 10 years, the damn thing is just floundering. It's going nowhere. Now, can you imagine having patience for 10 years? And then a new CEO comes and, they get the right product strategy and all that stuff. And then the stock takes off because they're in cloud computing and whatever else, right? That's a lot of patience, like 10 years, right? And so having said that, I'm going to tell you one thing that I never do. I've never been in any contest. Like in the early years, in the 90s, 80s, I used to get requests from Wall Street Journal and Investors Business Daily to participate in a contest. And obviously it's a year, and I'm looking at 5-year trailing, right? And so for me, 1 year is too short term for something to materialize if I have a thesis written, right? So I just don't participate in those.
Hmm.
Basically, it's a waste of my time. As you can tell, I'll be very opinionated, so you'll have to put up with me.
We have a
Wait,
few people like that in the club already.
Oh no, that's good. It's good to have opinionated people. We just have to respect one another in a civilized manner. So, Jay, maybe for the club, if you need a little time to think about what topic or what your club wants for June, since I got 15 minutes ahead time, just let me know by email, and then I'll prepare for that.
Okay, we give you 30.
Okay.
So
But you'll have
for
to excuse
June,
me
we
because, like, I deal with my mom in the nursing home, but so by the time I come back in the evening, sometimes it's 6:30, sometimes it's 6:45. So, and then I'll
I
just hop
gotcha.
on if
I
that's okay
see.
with you guys.
So what we could do is put the education topic at the end. For next
Okay.
month, we do have a stock study next month.
Okay.
So we can present stock studies first. If you commit, say, hey, next month you can give us education topic, we can
Yeah.
shovel to the end if that works better for your schedule.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll work.
If it's easier for you, you could give us like the 4 topics that you're prepared to talk about, so you
Oh,
don't
I've
have to.
given so many topics. I just do it on the fly. Sometimes I don't even. So, like, I had Bink in the 90s, and well, in the like late 2000s. I've given a lot of topics myself and with Ron and with a bunch of other guys. So it's not a question of the topics. The question is what your club's needs are, or if you say, look, we're gonna do a stock study of a company, then the club can do the SSG, and I can do some other research on it and say what's the other 20%. SSG is only 80%, and guess what? It's basically focused on the income statement for the most part. It doesn't kind of look at a lot of balance sheet items or cash flow and capital allocation. I mean, the only balance sheet item you have is debt to capital. That's it.
Perfect. Perfect. How does that sound? So Ala and I
Yeah,
actually
because
going
I
to do a
think
stock
think
study next month. So we tell you what are the 2 stocks we're going to present to the club, and then you can just show us, look at the end, look at the income statement. Say,
Yeah.
tell us what you see and teach us what things that you probe into.
Yeah.
Would that work for you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you just tell me which 2 stocks you're going to study, I'll kind of get it together quick.
What do
Yeah,
you think? What do you guys think? Is that okay? Is that
I
okay
think
with other members?
Yes.
Yeah, I think the other thing is the SSG, as I said before, it's very mechanical, and there's a lot to analyzing a company than just looking at the SSG numbers. So understanding their competitive advantage, understanding their position in the marketplace, in their industry, understanding the industry itself. Those are all really important things, and I don't think we spend enough time on those.
Yeah, so Henny, as far as competitive advantage, like the reason my ratios are carefully selected, like the top 3 ratios, which is return on equity, return on invested capital, and free cash flow margin, right?
Right. Yep.
If any of those 3 violates, I'm done. I don't even bother. It's like Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger said, it's too hard pile because what that tells me there's something wrong with the capital allocation of the company. So I'm done with those companies. I don't want to dig into it and waste my time. So and I don't, there's no rating. I noticed like in your club, like you guys have been rating the the ratios like 80%, that kind of stuff. I'm even more adamant about the way I use my ratios because I've built it over the years, and it was carefully selected in a way that the top 3, if any of the top 3 violates, then I'm just wasting my time. I need to find better quality stocks. That's about it. But so that comes through experience, right, over time, and that's okay. It's okay to make mistakes. It will come through experience.
Mhm.
So do you guys have your 2 stocks already, or are you still deciding which are the 2 you're going to study for next month?
We need to deciding. We will do the screening. We will look at the portfolio, see what we have or we don't, and we will screen.
Okay. When would you know that?
2 weeks before June. Oh, sorry, 2 weeks before the 1 week or 2 week. Ayla, what do you say? Let's see. Let me take a look at calendar. So June 19th, by June 12th for sure.
Okay, I
Do
think
we
that'll work out good.
do we have any reports that are supposed to happen next month?
I don't think so. It's the a stock study.
Oh, you should, Jay, you should know it by the 2 weeks before the meeting. So you should have it by the 5th at the latest.
Yeah.
Because you need time to do your stock study. I would even say, okay, so it's the 15th now. If you
Yeah.
if you could decide by the 29th in 2 weeks, then that's, let's see, 1, 2, 3 weeks before
Mhm.
the presentation.
Yeah, we did ask our members 2 weeks before, so have enough time to for members to review. Hey, Deborah, do you want to join the stock study for next month?
Sure.
Okay, I'll get your information. I'll have your email. Maybe you
So how
want
do
to
you guys
join.
come up with the stock study for the stocks? Do you have a
How do we?
process for your
Yes,
class?
we have a process.
Okay.
We have a
All right.
process. A process, we just look at the BI tool, how to have the screening page
Yeah.
based on what return we want, not return, what is
Well,
it? ROE, whatever
before
the
Yeah,
criteria.
no, before that, we should be looking at our diversification and like by company size, by industry, and so on.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
if we're holding too many large companies, then we should be looking at small and mid-size.
I see. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
If we have too many in one industry relative to another, we should, try to narrow it down that way.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's Henny. That's how I started. When I started with BI. By the way, BI used to be called NAIC. So the problem was NAIC is there's 2 different organizations. NAIC is National Association of like Insurance Corporation, but the NAIC we belong to is the Investors Corporation. So because of that, they changed the moniker to Better Investing, just so that you guys know.
Mm.
Yeah, and then that's how I started. 25% large caps, 50% mid caps, but you know what? I stopped doing that. I've ignored that. You won't believe what I do. Actually, what I just do is look at the 52-week low list, and I scan down and see if I can recognize any company. And then if I can recognize, let's say it's 3M or something, some bad news hits on something, and like it's 10% down for the day or something. But that's not sufficient. What I do is look at the 52-week low list. It's a new list that comes out every day, right? Companies on that list, and I just watch it. I don't have to do it every day. I do it once a week. But the time when I find that the list gets large, like for example, March 20th on 2020, when the pandemic year hit, then I get busy. I'm working like 16, 18-hour days, ferreting out like good companies and do I need to rearrange my portfolio of some sorts, which I didn't, but it's a good exercise at that time. So, and then the other time I was busy like crazy was back in 2009, 2010, because then the new 52-week low list becomes so large, then you can recognize a lot of companies that have good fundamentals. It's like throwing the baby with the bathwater, right? So I want the baby back. I don't care about the water. so,
Ron.
so that's how I kind of ferret out my companies. And when I started doing that, my issue was quite different. It's not an issue, but what I recognized, my portfolio morphed out to in a way where if great quality and reasonable prices winds up in mid caps and large caps, well, guess what? The portfolio only has that. It won't have small companies.
But Ron.
That's how I kind of evolved with my portfolio.
That's a Bagu, Piero.
Oh, but cool.
Hi,
I don't
Pierre.
know if you guys know, Ron passed away.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
So I
Mm.
just went to Ron's memorial, and I met Anita, I met T-Tran, I met Linda, Walt's twin brother. I was trying to talk to a sister, but she was, I don't know, she was not available after the memorial. And you know, I go way back with Ron, back to '94. So we started our membership in '94. Both of us became lifetime members in '95. And over time, we had experience in teaching at Bink and various other venues, even the local events. So and the other thing that Ron used to do was each month he had a education session at his house, and so I'm sure people are going to miss that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Piero, what question do you have for Baku?
Okay, Baku, what you were just talking about, it's kind of has kind of presence for me because I'm following Amazon.
Okay.
Okay, what you were saying about the 52-week low list,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
What about the dogs of the Dow? That's a popular.
Yeah. You can. I mean, you can follow Dogs of the Dow,
You know,
and it'll do well over time. You can also expose a portfolio to an ETF that's tied to the S&P 500.
okay.
Right. So you can do all those things as well. So for example, if people are still working, well, I'm not working anymore. So if people are working, they have 401k, 403, or whatever retirement plans. I don't know what they have in Canada, but then if your employer gives you the benefit of matching the 3% or whatever it is, basically it's free money. But the mutual funds, sometimes they have high expense ratios. So you might, if you have a mutual fund that's tied to the index, like an S&P 500 or the Dow or mid caps or something, then it's better to go into those types of mutual funds, right?
Yeah, cost.
Right.
Okay, the other cool. The other thing that one of the things I heard was that it's not exactly what you buy, but it's rather what you pay for it.
Yes.
Uh,
So, so the way Warren Buffett says it is like price is what you pay, value is what you get. So you really make money when you buy, not when you sell. But why? Because you're buying right. You value something and say, let's say a business worth or its market cap is like 5 billion, but it's trading at 4, right?
Yeah.
Or it's trading at 3. Well, there's probably a reason why it's trading at 4 or 3, even though it's the way you value the business 5 billion. So then you have to ask yourself, well, what the hell is that gap for, right?
Yeah.
Is there smarter people in the world that know something that I don't? Well, of course there are smarter people, right? There are people doing this kind of stuff full time. So the question is, you got to figure out, come to terms with it. And if you feel if something is selling at 60 cents on the dollar, if something is valued at, let's say, 10 billion, is trading at a market cap of 7 billion, you got a 30% discount, then you got to come to terms with it to say, okay, if this is something I'm getting into, then when is that market cap going to merge with my private market value, right? And sometimes you get it right, sometimes you won't get it right, and that's okay. You can't win them all.
Okay.
Did I answer that question, Piero?
Yeah. Now, Baku, just as what you were saying, you say sometimes, working on a theme or a thesis,
Yes.
you say the stock right now is down, but it's down for whatever reason. But in the future, it should do much better.
Right.
That's a thesis to get into, right? It's not we're looking for. It's growing at 15%. It's going to keep growing for 15%, 16%, 17%. It's going to accelerate into the future. Jump on board.
Yeah, that's correct. You can't grow something at 15% forever, because trees don't grow to the sky, right?
Yeah.
So as you might have a stable company that may not be growing 15%, they may be growing 10%, but they're great capital allocators. So what do? Is to get your return, is that there's two components of a return. Okay, one is capital appreciation, the other is dividend, right?
Yeah.
So the combination of the two gets you your total return. Now, if you have something that's not growing at 10% or like 15%, but you want the return of 15%, the company must be doing something good in capital allocation to get you that return. Now, if it's not a dividend payer, then it may be doing a lot of buybacks with very low leverage on the balance sheet, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what will get you a return. On the other hand, if it's a dividend payer, it could be a combination of the two, right?
Yeah.
So you have to kind of watch all those kind of things, and that's not what SSG is going to tell you, which is which is a little unfortunate.
Yeah.
Are there any accountants in your club?
We had one CPA. She's in Israel right now. She's right now located in Shanghai.
Okay.
She was a CPA.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well,
Bakul?
they are better they are better able to explain all this to us. So
Bakul, I have a question
yes.
about the ratios. Is there, do you plan or do you think about any adjustment for the ratios as we may or may not slide into a recession?
Yeah, of course. None of those kind of thresholds are cast in stone, right? So suppose I have a company in my portfolio that has been giving me 16% plus return on equity, and my top 3 ratios are okay and in the range. However, suddenly we have year 2020 and March hits us, and for a couple of quarters, those top 3 ratios are not coming as needed. Well, I can wait. Nothing says I got to sell it because they're still great businesses, right? So you have to kind of come to terms with it, right? There's no hard and fast rule. You just have to figure out like what's your threshold of pain to sustain and keep those companies in your portfolio, right? And therefore, you also have to look at the cash generation ability of the company, and how they are managing all the cash and how they're deploying the cash. Was that who was that? Ela?
Isla?
Ila? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't know if that makes sense because you
Yeah.
can't have these ratios coming in each quarter like clockwork and it's going to be always meeting your requirements, right? You got to remember companies, they have problems, and if the management of these companies have candor and they're honest and they have integrity, they'll tell you, oh, the problem was us. It's not the hurricane. It's not blah 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 and some other stupid excuses like weather and stuff like that. They'll tell you like it is, and well, those are the companies you have to stick with.
Thank you.
Okay. So
Thank you for dropping. Yeah, go ahead, Piero.
Okay.
Last
So
comment.
yeah, last question. But cool. So there's no mechanical kind of approach, like like you say, cast in stone. It's our own judgment.
That's correct. It's all judgment, right? And if there's a mechanical process, like if you do something algorithmically, computer-wise with software, it gets arbitraged away, right? If people figure out that this works, then everybody starts using it and it stops working. So you can't really use a strict mechanical process. There's a lot of judgment related to it, right?
Yeah.
And so I'll explain those kind of judgments depending on the stocks that you're going to study. So once I know which 2 stocks, Jay, once I know which 2 stocks that you're going to study, make sure you email me or text me that what companies they are. I have to get to work to dig into it, right? So
Yes.
I do the same thing like clubs do, which is I look at the SSG first, and then and then see what I need to dig into, doing other ratios and so forth.
Okay, we will share information with you once
Okay.
you can also join us for stock study. Maybe you can see how we do it and tell us what went wrong,
Do you have a separate meeting to do that?
Yes, stock studies, our rotate for club members, we rotate stock studies much smaller group, only about 2 or 3 people to pick the stock, and then we present to the club, and then we decide.
But we meet 2 or 3 times in the month to get everything together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before the presentation. So
right,
between now and next meeting, we'll meet like 2 or 3 times.
Yes.
Do you meet in the evening, or when do you guys meet?
Evening. So we do screening first, and then find something looks kind of all good, and then we separate. Say, oh, I do this primary company. Maybe Isla will do the competitor, and then we go research, find something. Still look next time we meet, still looks good, and then we go far more depth, and then we also document them in
Okay.
writing. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, if you can give me those dates, and usually like I come home around 6:30, 6:45, and if you guys still have those meetings around that time, I can definitely join.
Okay, that would be great. We probably a lot of time we meet either on Monday or weekends.
Okay. No, that's fine. As long
Okay.
as evenings, I'm fine with it.
Okay. Okay. Isla's in New York. Deborah's in Marin
Oh,
County. I'm Sacramento. Yeah.
yeah.
Deborah
Oh
just
boy.
guessed. I just recruited her. Say, hey, you want to volunteer her to join us to do stock study? She belongs to a club, 20 years. Sounded like
Who
the club's going to be folded, and so she's checking us out.
who is that again?
Deborah is a guest.
Okay.
Deborah Valentin. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So not
Thank
to
you so much,
interrupt.
Bakul. What
Yeah.
a treat. What a
Oh no,
nice
I just thought
surprise.
I'll join in because
Yeah.
I do look at people who are on or clubs who are on YouTube and stuff. If I see my name somewhere, you better believe I'll somehow contact someone. So this is one of those.
Oh wow. Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate all your
Thank
I
you
need
so
input.
to
much.
I need to
Yeah.
go. I
Thank you
hope
very
you guys
much.
have a great meeting, and
Yeah.
I'll probably join the stock study, and then we'll figure out what to do after that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you,
Okay.
Bakul. Yeah.
Okay. Talk to
Thank
you
you,
later.
Bakul.
Okay.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Oh, what a nice surprise. Okay.
So that was our educational segment.
Yeah.
Yes.
There we go.
That's good.
So moving on to the club business, I appreciate it's getting quite late for our East Coast guests as well. So we had
Forgot the
an,
other two guests. Did you?
I had addressed them. I hadn't received any feedback. They were self-muted. So
Okay.
I just,
yeah.
sorry, I'm Christine. I didn't mean to sit in the background, but thank you so much for letting me join today. I really appreciate it. It was great to hear about the tools you guys are using and what you're doing. I'm definitely interested in participating in the future. So this is great.
Oh, great.
Awesome. Welcome and
That's
thank you
great.
for
Where are
joining
you
us.
located, Christine?
I'm in Alexandria, Virginia.
Oh, okay. We have a few East
Ooh.
Coast.
Washington, D.C. Yeah. So
I-95.
I'm sorry?
I-95.
Exactly. It's my, yes. Too much in my world.
East Coast
Yes.
people understand that.
Oh, yeah. But no, I really appreciated hearing your process and how you guys go through things. I think it's really cool.
Oh, that's great. Visit
It'll be
us again, and we will also.
No, I'll talk more next time. And yeah, earlier. So
Perfect.
sorry to do it now.
No,
But
of course. And then if you are interested in joining, and next time, please feel free to attend anytime. And I think Jay had gone over the process kind of for membership would be to attend a few meetings and participate in a stock study. So if you're ever interested in doing that as well, we'd love for you to participate. So thank you so much for joining.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
no, I
believe
really
we also have a stock study in July as well.
cool.
I think, right, John? We have a stock study in July.
We have an education topic in July.
Yes, stock study as well.
Okay.
Stock study as well.
So
Perfect.
June,
Okay.
yeah, June I can take Deborah. Kristen, if you're interested, next meeting, attend our next meeting, see how we present stock studies. If
Yeah.
you continue interested, then July join us for stock study. Work
Definitely.
with us, and you can make a decision after that.
I would love that.
Oh,
Can you
awesome.
remind me of the July meeting date? I'm sorry, and I have it.
Third Monday.
Yes. So that
Third
would
Monday.
be, let
Okay.
me just put the calendar date for that. In July would be the 17th.
Thank you so much. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That works.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We're glad to have you and look forward to seeing you next month.
Me too. Thank you so much. Have a great remaining month and talk to you soon.
You
Thanks,
can
you as
stay
well.
to watch our business portion of the meeting too, if you feel
Yeah,
free.
for
I know
sure.
it's getting late, East Coast, but
Thank
yeah.
you so much. No, I really appreciate it. I'm trying to
Okay.
decide right now, but I really appreciate you guys so much. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Of course. Thanks so much. Philip, are you still on the line with us as well? I see that you're self-muted.
Okay, then.
Okay. So, well, thank you again for joining us, Philip. If you do, if you are still online, please feel free to chime in, and if not, welcome, and hopefully you'll join us again. So, moving on to the club business, I was mentioning we had an executive meeting to deal with. Well, so first we have to deal with the club membership renewal. Jay, do you have anything specific we need to say here?
Yeah. So the club dues is $52, and we have 13 members as of now. Correct, Randy? Ready? Correct me if I heard a 13. So $4 per person. And our due is in June. You can Venmo me or PayPal me, and I can send it to BI. Also, for club
Sorry,
member
Jay, again, what
roster,
was that deadline? When would you like? What was the deadline again?
the deadline I think is in June. Used to is May because we got pushed off for
Okay, so
June.
end of May,
Hey,
we'll
let's see. Yeah, can we just get it done?
Yeah.
What do you say? Beginning of
June 1st.
June 1st?
First, if we can have their payments to Jay or kind of collect anything to Jay by then, that would be
Yeah,
great.
$4. Yes. And
Jay,
then
can you send me the PayPal?
yeah, PayPal or Venmo. Yes.
Okay, send me.
Ready or no, he does a check. He doesn't want to do that. That's fine too. Also,
No. I have a bad experience with recently after 39 years, 49 years.
Yeah.
My Bank of America account was stolen.
Okay. So for club roster, we talk about briefly that, for example, Henny, I use you as example. So Henny was belong to the club and then he took a leave and then now he rejoined. Henny, I have not linked you to the club yet. You have two options. You either continue being independent member, if that really does not matter to you, or I can add you to the club roster. You have that option. We don't have to make it as individual members. We don't have, like, for example, Isla, you have another club. Reddy has another club. It's optional to link your membership to club membership. But the club dues, we do agreed that we're divided by number of members. That $52 divided by 13 at this moment.
Perfect.
Okay.
I have no. I do not officially belong to any other club. I attend a few of them.
You must pay BI individually. Do you pay BI individually?
Yes, I pay BI membership directly. Yeah.
So the cost is the same. It does not matter if you have a club, you don't have a club. The cost is the same. BI did the math already. I just want to point out that you have this option to link your BI membership to the club, or you can continue being independent. You pay on your own.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. So,
all right.
Moving on to the next item, if there's no questions about that, we have.
Do you do Zelle?
Yes, I do Zelle.
Good. Okay. And I like the idea of the gentleman, Bakul, when he said to narrow it down the way we were doing it when it was kind of long on going on the ratio. Okay, that's it.
Okay.
Okay. So moving on to the next issue is the leave policy. We noticed that our rules or club membership were absent any rules dealing with leaves. We noticed that we had a member recently leave the club, but there was a period of time where it was uncertain what that member's status was, so it affected the payout and the contribution amounts that we were able to kind of hypothetically add to our coffers every month. So the executive team got together to discuss how we can approach this, and our suggestion for the club is to create a sabbatical program or a leave policy within our rules. And I believe the number we came to was consistent with, well, we're going to leave it to, we wanted to open up to discussion about what the club believed, but our thoughts were, we also have a rule in the club where 3 unexplained absences in a row within a 6-month period results in an automatic kind of a deemed resignation of membership and would kind of result in a payout on the 4th month. and removal of that member from the roster. So we were thinking the leave policy might be benchmarked to that 3-month in a 6-month period. Does anybody have any thoughts?
That's for not giving notice, right? For example, Hoyt went to on vacation. He said, "Hey, next 2 months I will be in Europe." There's a two
Exactly.
different.
So
Yeah. Okay.
right. So the current policy is if you're absent for 3 months consecutively without an explanation, then you're removed. You're deemed to have resigned from the club. That's what the rules currently state. So what we want to institute is a policy so that there's more defined rules as to if an individual needs to take a few months off from the club, it's no problem at all. But we just wanted to codify that so that we have a clear schedule of when those individuals are going to be paid out if we continue their contributions during that leave period, and whether they are going to be removed from the IMIC club for voting purposes, for example. So just wanted to see the group's feeling as to the duration or the validity of a policy, and then so hopefully we can put that to a vote this evening as well.
So is this time for discussion?
Yeah, absolutely.
Question. So if they're on sabbatical, are they still contributing? Are we still contribution?
So that was a debate. I mean, we had amongst the executive as well. I'm personally of the view that we should stop the contributions during the leave, because if they're not going to be voting or they're not going to be contributing, then they shouldn't have to. It's not a mutual fund essentially. But
are they removed from voting then, while they're on sabbatical?
That would be my approach. Would be to remove them from voting and to remove their contributions, but to not do any sort of payout, and then to resume contributions and voting once they're back from sabbatical. But if anybody has any other thoughts, totally open to suggestions.
I don't think iClub does that. I think once you remove them, everything goes with them.
I have a comment on that one.
Go ahead, Reddy.
There is no provision in the website saying that a member is sabbatical or not. So all of the things okay, except their contribution, either if he's in there, if he's a sabbatical, it should be contributed. And when we pay off, we pay off.
Sorry, I'm not clear. I'm saying they say on my
iClub
you can't separate the voting from the contributions, but can we withhold the payout? Because if we can stop the voting and the contributions, that's fine. But it's the payout is the concern.
Voting is I'm open, but the contribution in the club side, there is no provision for sabbatical. Okay, so because of that one, the things will be easier and smoother if just we let them contribute, but when they leaving the club, pay out.
Yeah,
but if they're not participating and they're not voting.
Yeah, the problem is that they still count. This is when we have the issue of the votes not being a majority, because we have people that aren't attending, but they're still considered members of the club, and it's a skewing the voting count.
Well, I mean, even just you're right about the voting, definitely, but I think we should maybe just try and keep the voting separate, because we do have that as a separate item. But I agree with that, and I think it also creates a problem for our payouts, because
yeah, it does. If we're continuing to contribute to someone who's not actually there and participating, then the payout becomes so much larger over time, and they're not there, and we're just handing the money away.
Hold on. We are limiting the timing for sabbatical only 3 months. So 3 months contribution does not make a big difference.
The question I think is that it also affects when the payout occurs, so that in a down economy, if all of a sudden we now have to liquidate.
Yeah, we might be more prudent with the money.
Right, exactly. If we understand it, because we have a notice provision in our agreement too, right? People have to give a resignation of their club membership, so we have a few months to prepare for an individual leaving the club. But the case here is when an individual hasn't been participating for several months and they continue to accumulate, and we haven't taken any provisions. We have we've bought aggressively for a few months in a row, or we're not keeping a cash reserve, then we run into some issues. So I think that's the reason why we wanted to explore this. Again, if contributions, that's how we form it is really up to you, you all. But
it seems like the cleanest is to just separate cleanly, unless you put in a provision for if it's going to be less than 6 months or less, then maybe not, or 3 months or whatever makes sense. But otherwise, yeah, if you're not going to participate, just
And my
separate
concern
everything.
is that you have a stock you're following. So are you just not doing anything, any quarterly reports or any annual reports?
Somebody's going to have to do that stock. Somebody has to do that work at some point.
Then somebody's got to double up. I don't know if that's fair.
Well, that's why I'm saying they should just separate, right?
Yeah.
Either you participate or you don't. Otherwise, it creates all these issues. Like workload or, payout, all that stuff.
Mina,
Right,
another
so it's-
question. I have another question. Is there a limit on how many, is there a limit on how many excused absences you can have?
well, so that's what we wanted to establish. We don't have a policy as to excused absence. We only have something as unexplained. So that's why we want to institute a leave, because we have to be realistic about the fact that there's an occasion or two where people are going to have to miss more than 1 or 2 months, or may want to take a break from the group but still continue. The problem is if somebody says, okay, well, I need 2 months off, are we going to then remove them from the membership list, pay them out, and then sign them back up in 2 months? I mean, it seems to be a bit of a
That's too short of a time.
right. So
That's 2 meetings. So I think we allow, like, what is it? Don't we allow for 3? Or no, wait, 3 unexcused.
Unexcused.
right. We currently allow for 3 unexcused.
So
What about excused absences?
We don't have any policy as to excused absences.
Well, maybe you should think about that too.
Yeah.
I think anything more than a quarter, I think we need to reassign their stock and somebody
So
else.
3 months 3 months would then allow no one to have to do double the work, assuming that, like you said, it's less than a quarter, so they shouldn't have a report due. So I would suggest then the explained leave should be 3 months consecutive. And what we have in the unexcused absence policy is 3 months within a 6-month period. So that's the cadence, and that's kind of the renewal policy on your ability to take a leave. We can reduce that to a year for a leave policy, but I think, or we can keep it consistent with 3 months in every 6-month period.
I think that's fair, the 3 months in a 6-month period.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so I think we can. Okay, let's table that issue for now, unless there's any points, and then we can put it up for a vote. With any other buy or sell options, or is there any other comments on it?
I think that this mainly is around Matt, because I think everybody else in the club attends regularly. I mean, they might miss a meeting here or there, but everybody consistent. So I think this is mainly around the issue with Matt, who hasn't attended, I think, like over a year. So.
Well, it just exposed kind of our gap in our policies, in the sense that you're right. It's been a year, so he's been accumulating. We haven't done a payout. We could have handled that 6 months ago potentially, and not have to sell something or make a decision based on that payout. So
3 months seems a little steep to me. Like, so if somebody misses 1 quarterly report and then they have to leave.
Well, so it's unexplained in a row. So if they don't reach, that's what our rules currently state. It's 3 months
Not in a row. Not in a row.
Oh, sorry, 3 months. Pardon me. 3 months.
3 times unexplained in a 6-month period. Yeah.
Yes, sorry, John. That's absolutely correct.
In a 6-month period. Oh, for excused?
No, those are for unexcused absences. That's the policy.
But isn't it the same for excused?
No, we don't have a policy for excused. So what we're suggesting is 3 months consecutive as a leave within a 6-month period if you are going to be excused.
It's a sabbatical, Megumi. If somebody wants like a sabbatical.
Yeah. I would say sabbaticals 6 months. I mean, I was gone for 2 months in a row, 2 meetings in a row, just like because of overlapping vacation.
No, I think
I don't know. It doesn't matter. Whatever you guys think.
But presumably, Megumi, you had been able to review reports. You might like generate a quarterly report. You might not attend the physical, like the meeting in person, but you can
Yeah.
still vote. You'd still contribute. I think this is like saying if you wanted to take a 3-month like complete break, you don't have a time. You don't have the time or the option to review or do reports. I think this would be like complete, like your hands off essentially for those 3 months.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. That's fair.
Okay. Well, so we'll put that to a vote later. Hopefully, if somebody, well, we'll see if we can get a cogent vote on that. But so the other issue we have then is voting. So I don't know, John, I think you can spearhead this issue. But what we've noticed is that there's been a real lack in voter participation, and we're not able to really come to be decisive as a club. So you'll notice that the two quarterly reports that were not hold options, both sells are holdovers from last month, where there was a vote to sell and there was just insufficient voter turnout to get the motions across the line. So we need to address voter turnout. We need to make sure that members are voting after the meetings, and that if they're not attending the meetings, that they're reviewing the materials and voting on those. John, do you have anything else you wanted to raise on the voting issue?
I think you covered it. It's just that we cannot choose, according to Mina, we cannot choose to vote only the people that are here. Like we can't limit the population of voters. So it has to be the entire membership, so 13 people, and it has to get a majority, 7 votes. So the past month, as Mina said, we had 2 motions each for FAF and Algonquin to sell, and both of them had a lot of steam, but they didn't get there. They didn't get enough people to participate. So we need people to participate and vote yes or no either way, but vote. Listen to the recording if you missed the meeting. I know it may be, just do that and vote. Yeah, that's
Well,
pretty much.
I have a question. If people are absent for whatever reason for say a couple of months and they don't participate in the meeting, they don't know what the issue is, and are they going to vote anyway, or are we just going to excuse them from the vote for that? Because if they're not at the meeting, maybe they don't know that they have to vote.
Well, so that's interesting. That's gonna be. I think those are two good questions there. In the sense of, I think with the sabbatical, I agree. I think the voting rights are suspended during the sabbatical because you're not reviewing the materials. We're not expecting you to participate. But for the app, I think the other question and I think this conversation started right before this meeting for those who were joined us before the recording started. What about those members who don't attend let's say the May meeting? Should they still be entitled to vote on the May motions? I think that those are 2 separate issues. We can address them. I think for the sabbatical, my opinion would be that those individuals are excused from voting, and we have to figure out a way how to deal with that. And then those individuals who are just simply absent from the meeting should still have the responsibility to vote. To John's point, my iClub doesn't allow us to select which members are participating in a vote. It's the entire club or no one. So we might need to maybe just discuss how we want to approach voting if that system's not ideal for that.
Mina, I have a suggestion.
Yeah, please.
I have a suggestion that when we have, like, say we have 10 people now, we have to have 7 people to make the vote pass either way. My suggestion is we conduct a vote during the meeting, because it doesn't matter if we get 7 people to vote one way or the other. It doesn't matter what those other 3 people vote, because it won't change the result.
Correct.
Don't get it.
If it's unanimous one way. If it's,
right. But if it's split, then there's a problem.
If it's 7 or more one way.
Yeah, exactly.
But if it's what if it's split though?
It doesn't have to be unanimous. So if we don't get that majority vote during the meeting, we re-vote and include those other people. I mean.
Oh, sorry. Oh, so Joanne, you're suggesting 2 separate votes. So one, that if there's a quorum and we have more than 7 members on a meeting, if 7 vote for yay or nay on a motion, then it passes, we're done. If it doesn't pass, then you reset the vote and then have the entire club membership vote?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I like it.
that's my suggestion.
I like it.
Anybody have any thoughts on that?
Does anybody have an idea why the vote was not completed the last several times? We haven't had a completed vote since January. So does anybody know why that is happening?
Okay, I'm going to share my screen.
Oh, please, yeah, let me send it to you.
My comment is, I think the voting has to be reminded for a couple times right after the meeting. There is a deadline, and please cast your vote.
I mean, that's what we have ready. That's the standard.
Right, and but it's not working. Yeah, that is not working, unfortunately.
Reminder, send a
The
reminder.
voting has had to be extended several times because we didn't get enough people. And then even when it was extended, we still didn't get enough people. So
People aren't voting.
not sure what to do with that.
Not extension. Send a reminder.
Even
Reminder
when
email.
ready, people should know to read their email and vote. That's not that hard.
Voting is not hard. The reminder. People, not everybody checks the email every day, all the time.
Okay, let's just see. Let's see if Reddy voted.
Ooh,
Okay, who didn't vote?
ooh.
Kenny, Megumi, Piero, Reddy, Quell, Anitra.
Anitra was up. Ha ha ha.
No,
Ready
but
to not vote.
I get a email to vote even when I've already voted at the meeting. So I don't vote. If I voted at the meeting, I don't vote, but I still get emails telling me to vote.
Well, you should check. You should check your because let's see. Okay, Megumi voted that time, but
If you vote in the meeting, don't you still have to vote by online to get it recorded?
No.
Well, what do you mean by vote at the meeting, Megumi? What do you mean by that? Voted at the meeting?
Because at the end of the meeting, we say, you know, I'm in my iClub, and I go and I vote.
well,
Oh,
you know,
must be did not get recorded.
it doesn't.
She voted. It did not get recorded.
And the first time I couldn't get in to vote, I did try to vote, and then I think I was let in. And honestly, the second time I took responsibility for it.
Okay, why don't we do it now? Let's put something to a vote.
Okay, I can generate something. What? Oh, you can do it right now, John. I guess you're right there. Perfect.
What is there a motion for anything?
Oh, so do we want to?
Yeah, sell
is there a
FAF.
motion on the
Sell
sell?
FAF.
Yeah, sell FAF.
And
Oh,
put them together.
How about paying off Matt Claiborne?
I don't know.
Nobody. I'm still not clear whether we have a motion.
Paid him.
Decided that or not.
Yeah, but I think that's a more complicated motion. So I think this is a little clearer. This is a little bit. Motions made by Isla, I believe.
Yes.
seconded by.
I'll second it.
Okay. What is the motion, please?
Motion to sell all FAF.
Okay.
Voting sooner if majority is reached. Majority is simple majority. One member, one vote. Notify members when via email when voting has ended. Oh, so should I extend the voting period? We'll make it.
Well, let's test this out on this call. So no, I don't think so, because I think we should just
All right.
whoever's here, and then we can cancel the vote or complete it afterwards.
So do you want me to vote?
Yes, everybody should vote.
Yeah, please, and so we can see if it's working for you or not as well.
Yeah, don't end the voting today. Do not vote. End the
Motion
voting today.
It's motion 118, right?
Yes.
Motion 118. Hold on.
Check
Okay,
your,
vote.
check your email, Reddy.
I will, but don't end the voting today. I had to FAF and see how you're doing. Then I will decide the vote tomorrow.
Yeah, because
No,
as soon as I vote, it says,
We're trying to see if this works now.
yeah, it says when you vote, it says you already voted yes on this motion.
Okay.
And then you can click on that thing that says see who has and has not yet voted.
Yeah.
Okay.
just vote.
Yeah, so we're just trying to
Oh,
figure out if this is going to work well.
Chris
okay.
and
I just
Chris
voted
and
on
Jane
mine
aren't
since
here.
I'm not voted. I just voted. Okay, let me
Annie
click.
already left. Annie already left. Chris
Okay,
and
this
Jane.
is extension. Okay.
I
So
can't see
Megumi's
the,
vote has
There's no
registered.
current motion
All
anymore.
right.
I mean,
It
archived.
passed. It passed.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay.
So
And
we have
also, we
7.
noticed on Megumi's vote, your vote was recorded there. I noticed that. So just, can we just go look at that? Sorry.
Don't pass yet. I'm still trying to vote. I'm in here.
Okay,
It goes
sorry.
away once.
Once they reach the majority, Anitra, does not matter anymore.
Oh,
Closes it
okay.
out.
But she wants her vote noted.
Yeah,
Well,
Okay.
yes, go ahead and
It can't
do
be
that.
it can't be noted if she doesn't go
Okay,
ahead and
everybody,
vote.
please.
Right.
Can we
Yeah.
can't all speak at the same time. It's not coming through.
Okay.
So okay, how about this? It looks like Megumi's vote registered. Now, Joanne, can we reopen a vote and can we let's put a sample vote just to make sure that everyone can register a vote and make it open until like for a week, just regardless, so that Anitra can make sure she can vote as well too, and well as well.
Okay, so once it reaches majority, then you can't vote anymore,
Yeah,
right?
so Anitra and Joella now are prohibited from voting. Can we just make a sample, like a complete?
Okay. Yeah,
Let's
sure.
do the let's do the next motion.
Well, no. My point is, can we just make like something that just says sample one, so that we can delete it and has no consequence, just so that
Okay.
we can test
Yeah.
out the membership, like to make sure that everybody can vote, because Megumi said that her vote wasn't registered last time.
Well, I don't know if it was, but
No,
well,
Joanne, click the first radio button. Joanne, the first radio button, not the second.
But even when I vote, I seem to get an email from my iClub saying you have to vote.
Yeah, click it.
Why do I want that? Oh, why do I want that?
Megumi's asking for.
Yeah, I'm just hoping we can do just a pure sample motion so that we can make sure that Anitra can vote, Joelle can vote, everybody here who's on this call today, when they vote, it's registered so that we don't have any issues with it.
Does that look right, John?
Yeah, I guess it's fine. Just try it out, and in a month is great. Yeah, that's
perfect.
Yeah.
And now everybody vote again. Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you pick.
Doesn't matter what you vote for.
I guess just pick yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
It'll stay open. It'll stay open forever until everyone votes. So it'll stay open past Christopher, Jane, and Henny too. So
right. See, I got an email saying, okay, this one is saying it has ended, and then current IMIC motions require your vote. I already voted.
No, this is the new sample one. So this
that's
will
a
be
sample
the
one.
sample motion.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Do they give you when they send the email? Do they give you a motion number?
No, it's just a generic. Yeah, so you don't know what you're voting for.
So
exactly. I can ask iClub. They need to change that. I don't like that.
All right. So Isla, Reddy, and Megumi, the people here need to vote, and then everyone else is probably not here.
Oh, gotcha. Hold on. Let me vote on this one.
Just to make sure that we can.
I'm gonna vote. This is just a sample vote, right? Yeah. Okay. I'm
Yep,
gonna
Anitra, perfect. Okay. So
yeah.
Reddy just left. He did. No, wait, Reddy.
No, I'm here.
Vote on the sample, Reddy. Vote on the sample. Vote.
Oh, vote sample. Okay, I'm away from the computer.
So Christopher, Annie, and Jane aren't here. Everybody else. So
that's fine.
So what have we decided then? Everybody has the ability to vote. If you see
confirmed. Okay.
when we have multiple motions, if you think you've already voted, you have to go back in and recheck to make sure that your vote was
current motions. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you just sign into my iClub, even if you're not prompted by the emails, you can go under voting and you can see the current outstanding motions, the resolved motions. So even if you're not 100% sure if your vote's been registered or not, I would just recommend you sign up. You just go to the website directly and confirm.
Okay. So do we want to do another motion, Jay?
Yeah.
Yes. Sell Algonquin. I make a motion to sell Algonquin.
Okay, I voted.
Yay, Reddy.
Great job, Reddy.
So we're going to leave the voting open, right? Shall I leave Should I leave it open for a month?
I don't see it.
Mm,
Oh, no, I haven't
I
done
don't
it
know.
yet. Who made the motion?
Oh, okay.
Who seconded the? Who?
I'll second it, but Mina, what do you think? What should we have this one closed? Just like relatively soon, and
Well, you know what? Because
majority's reached. Majority's reached. Let's just make it easy.
yeah, make it just until majority's reached, like we were doing standard that way, and then I think we'll give ourselves. I think we discussed what we'll leave it for the week.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
Or do you think? Or do you
Just in
think a few
case,
days?
just in case this one doesn't pass, doesn't get enough votes, rather. Okay.
Right. I just want to make sure that it's captured, and then it gives Hanny and whoever else may have dropped off already. So Chris and
When are we closing? When are we closing the voting? Today's the 15th. 29th?
Sure,
I would
just
say
like
7 days. Yeah.
7 days. Yeah, 7 days. That's good. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. And then the next Pareto button, second one, top. Yeah, there we go. Thanks.
So you don't want to leave it open?
We don't care anymore. We know people can vote now, so we know it's people are able to vote. So we just do the second one, so it's easier.
Yeah,
I think.
I agree.
It closes sooner.
Do people feel like they're being left out if they can't vote?
Maybe.
Let's just leave this open. Let's just say.
Okay. All right.
If there is a majority, they wouldn't feel left out because the majority would rule. It wouldn't matter if they got a chance to vote. So if we all vote now in the class, it'll be over with and we can move on.
No, but you still feel like I didn't get a chance to vote. You know, close, even though if I want my vote to be registered.
Okay.
Leave it open. Okay, so I'm gonna. Okay.
Okay. This will be open for a while, but.
Oh no, wait. It won't. Will it close if the majority? No. Okay.
No, it won't close with a majority vote. So we'll have to just verify on Monday. So Reddy, sorry to put that on you, but on Monday we'll have to just double check the My iClub to see the status of the vote, and then if we have to sell those, then I leave that to your capable, Nosy, in your capable hands.
Actually, Mina, I set it to send an email with the results.
Oh, okay, perfect, awesome.
Was everybody voted?
Not yet, but.
Oh, wait, what? Another one? Sorry, I did. Wait.
Everybody should.
Yeah. Oh, that
You made
one.
the motion, Jay.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah, and you know what? And
Okay, I voted. I did.
A good reminder is that we'll have to make sure that we leave some time for people to actually vote on the meetings, because we've gotten away from that in the last few months, where we'll put the motions out and then we'll move on quickly. One thing to do to prompt voting is to give everybody that extra just 2 minutes to log on and do it.
Yeah.
I agree with that. You'll be making the decision while you're discussing it. That makes sense.
That's weird. I voted. It tells me that. Oh yeah. Okay. Never mind. Just need to refresh screen over. Okay.
So I think we set it in motion, the voting, and we do that during the meeting. We create the motion, you know, people have a chance to vote, but we leave it open for a week for people like Betty who needs to study. Or people that weren't at the meeting that perhaps they can look at the SDGs and then vote.
YouTube video too. There's a YouTube video of it. The meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, so how do we know if a motion is passed?
Well,
I think we have to just check. I think we have to look back and check.
But
I'm
Jen
just
just said
looking at
email notification will let us know when it's with the results.
Yeah, I know. So for example, like a motion 120, right? We have 8 people voted.
Yeah.
It doesn't tell you what happened. You have to. I think we have to check. You have to sign in and check.
We won't close until Jane, Hanny, Christopher vote, as well as Megumi and Reddy, or until a week passes.
I voted.
Megumi, 120. You did not vote 120.
Yeah, just from a timing perspective too. So we have 8 votes for.
Hold on.
There's 8 votes, assuming that they're all yeses. We don't have the result yet.
I would vote yes. Hold on. Okay.
So for 119, does that mean 119 won't pass?
No,
but that was the fake one, right?
That's the fake one.
That was the sample,
We just want to see if
yes.
people
I
could
know,
vote.
but I understand the example, but then did not say the motion has passed.
That's because we set it to be everyone able to vote, no matter what, even if there's a majority
Oh,
already reached.
gotcha.
We're not going to see the results until, yeah.
Same with this 120. Same with 120. Similar style. So.
Well, it says a simple majority is required to pass the motion. Voting on this motion and
Oh,
when?
that's wrong. That's wrong. I see
Oh.
what you're reading now, and that's
Oh,
wrong. Yeah.
see, you have to wait another month
From 119.
A week.
for
A week.
119.
But you
That's
just wait a
too
week
long.
for 120.
Oh,
I'm gonna
119 is 614. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay, refresh. I should show up as voted.
Indeed.
Yay!
It was ready. Good. All right.
I was gonna try to
Get
go
out of
vote
here.
from my email, but it's okay. All right.
Okay,
Awesome.
cool. All right, guys. Are we all set with that then?
Looks good.
I'm going to delete the sample one. So we're just waiting for a week on Algonquin.
Okay.
Give
Hmm.
Christopher and Jane a chance to vote.
Yeah, I don't like that. We need to tell iClub to make improvement. So first of all, they need to show in your email, show what motion is that.
Yeah,
It's very confusing. Yeah.
We also, I don't understand why we don't have the ability to change the number of people who are eligible to vote, because if people are on vacation and are unable to sign in and don't know that they have to vote by a certain time and it'll be over a week or something, then that could cause a problem.
Right.
I think the top four is that, if people weren't there and don't know to vote.
Right. If they're going to be away for an extended period of time and they're not at the meeting, and then they're not coming back till 2 or 3 weeks after the meeting, and the voting only stays open for a week, then we might get caught.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think, yeah, we can deal with that next. We'll see. Hopefully this one works, and we can see how we move forward. But yeah, in terms of dealing with non-voting rights, I think I'm one that says that we'll need to dive a little deeper on that if we're gonna go down that path. But yeah. So that looks good for that motion. Are there any other motions this evening that everybody wants to make?
I just want Reddy to make a note that we have sold FAF and AQN ready. So don't ask me next, what did we sell?
Yeah.
Because
What do we sell, Joy?
what did we buy? You can come here, Reddy, every month, and you can look at the archive motions and you can see what passed. Reddy probably walked away from his phone. So
I'm here.
No, he's still here.
I'm here. And I think I appreciate if you can help me straighten out my computer, the voice recording. But yeah, I'm here.
okay.
All right.
Everyone,
Go.
vote.
All right, good night, everybody. Thanks. Good meeting.
Good night.
One quick question, one quick comment on the topics for Bakul. I personally am overwhelmed when I'm asked to look at a 10K or a annual report, or this is way too much information, and I don't know how to hone in on the information that's relevant, pertinent. So on a topic of something that he could talk about to help me focus or isolate pertinent information, that would be something I would like.
That's what
Anyway.
he's going to do. Well, he's going to take the two stock studies or two companies that are going to be considered in this stock study. So
right.
Isla, Jay, and Deborah will be doing the SSG analysis, and then Baku will be doing the one step, the additional, I believe it's the income statement. He finds a lot of value in the income statement, so he'll be going over that. So that's what you'll want to focus on, Hual. It's not
Actually,
so
the SSG is about the income statement. I think he's going to focus more on the balance sheet and the cash flow statement.
Thank you, Isla. Thank you.
Because
Yeah.
that's not included in the SSG, but the income statement is definitely there.
Yes,
Right.
thank you.
Well, thank you, everyone.
Another thing, sorry, Reddy invited Doug Golosh. We also need to pick a topic for July education topic. Oh, Mina, you're supposed to send an email to the group, ask them if they have any preference.
Also,
Or Reddy,
also,
whoever.
also, Meena, if you can send an email quickly, you can always decide the subject later, but send it confirming because
I appreciate that. I'll send that email today. Yeah, I appreciate it. I will.
fully booked. He generally he attends so many events of BI.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice enough for him to respond to my request. Send him. You can send it in two parts. One, confirm we want him in July meeting.
Nope.
Second,
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. Well,
All right. Good
thanks,
night.
All right. Good night.
Jay.
Okay.
good night.
Yes, Piero.
Jay?
Yes,
Jay?
Piero.